The latest poll out of Virginia from Roanoke has Donald Trump down by just 3 points in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video with On Point Politics, your number one stop for all things polling and election analysis in the United States. And today we're going to be looking at this new poll from Roanoke College. Right now, Kamala Harris is only ahead of Donald Trump by 3 points. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want more content just like this. And so just a little bit of, stuff to go over. So even in the full field, Harris is leading by only 3 points. And their poll back in 2020 had Biden up by 11. He won the state by 10. And just not that long ago, I think they had Biden up by 1 in the state of Virginia. So that was very, very interesting. She did technically gain a little bit, but she's got a -10 favorability rating in this pollster. And it's like, okay, if she's down by 10 in Virginia in favorability, my belief of her being up nationally for real seems very, very unlikely. The electorate sample was pretty decent. They also have a pretty decent track record. Even McAuliffe, in 2021, they had McAuliffe up 1 and, Glenn Youngkin won by 2. So it was within margin of error, and they've usually actually overstated Democrats, funny enough, which is very interesting that Donald Trump is within striking distance of the poll. And if this is to be believed, that puts the state of Virginia in a category where we didn't really expect it to be in. We did not expect Virginia to be this state that was going to be, necessarily in play. But if this polling holds up, if we have consistent polling where Wisconsin's +6 for Harris and the Rust Belt's all blue, and like Arizona we get blue polls, but then Virginia is still close, there may be something going on in the state of Virginia, and it may be trending to the right this cycle, contrary to what my model has. And so this opens up a very big possibility of pass, because if you have the Sun Belt under lock, right, let's say you get 268. If Virginia were to go to Donald Trump, he wouldn't have to worry about the Rust Belt or Nebraska's 2nd congressional district. He could also not even worry about a state like, if he gets Wisconsin, for example, if Arizona, doesn't vote for him, he doesn't need to worry about that. He more than likely would also be able to not even worry about Nevada either. He would win through Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia as well. He could lose Arizona. He could even lose North Carolina and actually still be pretty close. He could win through a Pennsylvania, Virginia, Georgia, Nevada path, but more than likely North Carolina would be in his column regardless, just because it's voted for him twice in previous cycles. But if Virginia is really in play here, it does beg the question, is it really going to be that difficult? Because you could win through Georgia, Virginia, and Nevada. That would get Donald Trump to 270 electoral votes. And at that point, he wouldn't even have to worry about an Arizona or any of the Rust Belt states. He could also simply just win through the Rust Belt itself. He could win 2 of the Rust Belt states. So let's say he doesn't get Michigan and he falls short with Georgia. Like, let's say somehow, this happens where Michigan, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada go blue. Let's say, Harris is slightly better with black voters, but somehow Virginia goes red. That would give the election. So it is pretty interesting. Pennsylvania, funny enough here, this would actually be an electoral college tie. You had Wisconsin, Virginia, and Arizona lean R, but Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Nevada blue. You do have a tied electoral college, so that is fairly interesting. But it does open up Trump's path to victory by tenfold, because if he has Virginia, he could win through Michigan and Nevada. That gets him to a tie in the electoral college as well. So this cycle is very interesting because you have a lot of paths, for the candidate to win. You have a lot of different ways that the candidate could go out there and actually win an electoral college victory. We are definitely in for a pretty interesting election cycle. Even Wisconsin and Georgia, that would be a path, to 270. And it's like, okay, like let's say, Trump gets to 272. That already gets him the electoral college. But having Virginia as an option to build a pathway to victory is just very convenient to have. Like, it's just convenient, period. Because at that point, you could have Virginia and probably not even worry about Arizona or Georgia. Pennsylvania at this point and Nevada would get Donald Trump over. There's so many more paths to victory with a state like Virginia in play. And it leads me to believe that maybe Virginia does vote to the right of Minnesota by about 3 or 4 points or so if the polling data is looking this good despite Harris gaining nationally. So that is definitely something really interesting. Now, what do we think can explain this? Number one, Glenn Youngkin was elected the Republican governor there in 2021. He has been helping out statewide. He's gotten the Republicans' act together pretty well. So he's been able to do that very, very effectively. And second of all, Republicans in the state have just gotten their act together in general. So imagine like Michigan, Virginia and Nevada, and then Nebraska second gets you to 270. You don't even need Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, or Arizona even, and you would win that many electoral votes. Same thing with us, let's say, Wisconsin comes in and Arizona comes into play here. That actually gets you to a certain amount as well. So right now, this is a very interesting development in the Electoral College, and it's very, very intriguing that the polling is so close in Virginia because Harris has been supposedly gaining nationally, but we even have reports from a head of a PAC, a Democrat PAC, that the Harris internals are not looking very good, that her internals are very different from what the public is showing, and that is very telling, and I've been kind of suspecting that to be the case. I mean, our latest poll was SoCal Strategies, which if you guys want to donate in the description down below, you can. Clearly we have Harris up 2, but we do know that there was a big possibility of overestimating her. The electorate on the online panel is an older, 65 plus liberal vote, but a younger 18 to 29 vote. So it's kind of interesting about that online panel. But the main part of this video is to basically show that, Trump with Virginia 100% has now a pathway into basically making it a toss-up state before even Minnesota, because the polling is looking far better in Virginia than Minnesota right now. I mean, Minnesota, Harris is leading that in the higher single digits in all the new polling. So, and now Virginia, the first poll after like an entire month, and Harris is only up in the state by 3, and the poll tends to overstate Democrats. So there is a possible pathway for the former president to potentially win with the state of Virginia in his column. Make sure to hit the like button to subscribe if you want more content just like this, and I will see you guys in the next video.